Alright, welcome back everyone to another episode of Before We Leave. I hope everyone is having a great day. I know that I am. Today is May the 18th of 2020, and we're just getting another episode recorded here. So it has been a few days since I have played this, but I do remember where we left off. So in the last episode, we did get our shipwright up and running. We also got a port on our main island, the start island, built as well, so that we could get a trader ship between our two islands, our two colonies now. So we have the beginning over here, the start, and then we have the next steps over here. And we have this town up and running. The main thing that we took over to begin with was tools, but now the next thing I want to make sure we get moved over is some of this research. So I think, let me see here. Yeah, so the Queen Mary, it has everything, I believe. So we wanted the research. Okay, so she has, no, we don't want to transfer that to port. Okay. Ah, yes, because we move it ourselves. That's right. I'm recollecting all of this. So we have all of our green knowledge from our first island on our ship already. We have 30. That's the max that our ship could hold. If we take a look at our library here, I get off of this, go to our library. On our main island, or our start island, we have 201 green research, and we can transfer that over to our second island because our library on the second island needs some of that green research in order to do some additional, well, research. As silly as it sounds, we need those green boys. So we'll get these over here and get them unloaded. We should pull in there, and then we should be able to transfer all 30 from our ship to the port, which is perfect. So if we click off of our ship, we should be able to go to our library. Has it transferred? It seems like it should have, but they're not showing up over here just yet. But that will allow us to do some of the additional things like cooking and fountains, a little bit of glass work once we get through the power, and so on and so forth. It's interesting though. Why is that? So it's at the, oh, it's at the port. Okay. So can I move this from the port over here? It's quite interesting that it won't. Oh, cool. We can actually upgrade this bad boy if we wanted to, if we knew glass, but we don't know glass just yet. So I think we technically have the research here. Oh, and now it's slowly getting moved over. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. Was it slowly getting moved over? So I think we could start on the next thing over here. Pollution cleaner. I don't think we're to a point where we really need that. I think our next best bet would be to do the power. Now, if I go back to the left here, okay, it doesn't look like we're really missing anything over there. We've already clicked on all of those bad boys. It's really just this point and forward. So let's do power next, because I believe this island doesn't have any power, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll let that bad boy go. And if I look around our island here, yeah, it doesn't look like we have any kind of generator that we can repair. We have our ship over here, so this is the ultimate goal for this island, is that ship. So yeah, we're going to start with getting some power up and going. Now, what all do we need for this ship? Let's take a look here. So we're going to need more wood. We're going to need power, obviously. We have the water. We have the food. We don't have enough stone right now. We could always move some. And then we have a few unknown resources. So I'm guessing some of those unknown resources are going to be in here, like glass work, maybe some fuel or steel. So we're going to have to progress a decent amount farther in order to get that. Now, the other thing that I probably want to get going is a house. And we might even want to put another hut in here. We can upgrade it. Well, we cannot upgrade our hut just yet. So let's go back to here and let's see. Can we do 2 of these at a time? Nope, we cannot do 2 at a time, but we can queue them up. So once this power one is done with, it will queue up the next one, and then we should be good to go. So with that being said, I think some of the next things we're going to want to do then on top of that, we're going to want to get a warehouse again going on this island, very similar to our first one. And then we're also going to want to get a stonework up here, or a quarry to take out this mountain, and then an ironworks to get this iron out of the rusting hulk, because we're ultimately going to need that. I kind of have a feeling that we are going to need it sooner rather than later to grab those. All right, cool. Our power research is complete, and we have a new tab down here for generating power. So, burn wood to generate power. Okay, so we were lucky enough on our first island that we actually had a power source that we didn't have to use wood to power. At least I am recollecting that correctly. Let's double check here. No, actually I'm wrong. You did use wood to create power, but we were just lucky enough that we didn't have to build the whole structure. It was already there and we just needed to do a little bit of repair work on it. Now this one we need to build a whole new one from scratch. But we should have all of the resources for it. It needs 6 wood, 6 tools, 5 seconds, and it takes up 1 space. Now it does give off a decent amount of pollution. So we are going to want to have this in a place that we ultimately are not too worried about polluting. I think realistically, way out here would probably be our best, and we could easily get a road going out to it. So let's get our road going. And we'll do it just like so. We're going to hop back over to here and grab our little power plant. So I think that's where we're going to want it. Well, if we put it way out there, it's affecting even less. Back to the road. One more. Bada bing, bada boom. We'll grab this bad boy and we'll stick them out there. So that's going to get us some power up and running. Now we're almost to the end here on getting a house option up and going, and we can then put one of those bad boys down so we have more space for our peeps to live. Let me rotate our camera just a wee bit here, and if we take a peek in our first tab here, we now have a house, which is cool. So if you give them food and drink, you can hold up to 4 peeps, it looks like. So it does store food and drink for them. Peeps don't have a job yet. Yep. So same info pretty much as our hut. Ah, yes. Our hut can only hold 2 people. So really, this is interesting. So we have 3 huts here. So we should only have 6. But we have 10. Unless that's 1 adult and 1 child. It's not super specific on it. We do we have enough? We do have enough for a house. So maybe we'll get a house up and going here. And we'll put one right here. So that should get going. Everyone on this island is just not that happy. And I think it's mainly, ooh, too hungry or thirsty to work, too hungry or thirsty to work. Okay. Better clothing. Better clothing. Yeah, clothing is really what's getting them. Let's take a peek at our resource list here. How we doing on everything? What's in demand right now? It looks like food is getting a little cautious on food there. Yeah. Food across the board. How are we on water? We do have a decent amount of water, but I feel like we're going to want some more to do it. Now, we don't have any resources available. What are we out of? We're out of stone. Oh, nope. We got the stone in. Okay. Cool beans. So they're simultaneously doing 2 things. We're getting our power plant up and running way out there on the coast, and then we're also getting our house set up, which is perfect. So now we have enough space for all of our peeps to live. So now we have 16 available. 16 available people, right? I gotcha. Yes. So each house can hold 2 adults and 2 children. So 4 per house, technically. But only a certain number of adults. You can only have, what, 2, 4, 6 adults, right? If I'm doing my math right, if I'm understanding how everything works, yeah. But then we also have some bonuses. So because there's nearby accommodations, we get extra ones. So it gets a little bit confusing on the math and how it all works out. But ultimately, we are in the clear with amount of living for the time being. I think what we're going to want to do next is we are going to want to check out our woodcutter here. It does not seem like they're producing enough wood for us. So we really might want to import some wood from our other island. So let's really quickly hop back on over to our other port. And let's see what we have. So over here we have 60 wood. We can easily transfer 30 over to our ship. And then once we have those 30, we should be able to hop back over to our island, and they will still keep producing the same amount over here. They'll restock all of that wood, so we won't necessarily need to worry about it. That, again, I mentioned in the last episode, is super nice about getting this first island up and going, is that you ultimately becomes self-sufficient over here. So you don't really need to worry about it. It'll just produce enough resources, and it'll stockpile those bad boys. And then when you're ready, you can come pick them up and then take them back to other islands where you might need them more, where they might be a little lacking in those resources. So luckily for us, we have plenty of wood at our first island. We're going to move it over here. We're going to transfer our wood to the port. And that should give us a nice little backlog of wood. And I think what we really want to then get next is some more farms up and going. I think that is probably going to be our next step here. Tools we're getting kind of low on. How are our peeps doing? So most of our peeps are decently satisfied. And our buildings are doing okay. Actually, this is useful. I haven't really dug into this before, but this helps you just see all of the buildings in one foul swoop here. So we can look at our huts that we have. So we have 4, 4, 3, and then 5 in this one. And you can actually see what each of those people are doing within those huts or those houses just from right here, which is actually very convenient. So cool beans, we have that all up and going. Now, if we take a look at our research, we're probably going to want to get something going. We have a pollution cleaner. We do have the glass work, which would probably be pretty beneficial. I don't know what fountains would necessarily do for us, but cooking could be good. I think glass work is going to be our next one we're going to want to do. Yeah. We also have clothing, which we definitely should get because our peeps are not happy with their clothes. So let's actually queue that one up. And we should have enough in the queue or enough research to get that bad boy going. So the other thing we wanted to do over here, we do have one idle, idle workers, 4. Some of your peeps are too hungry to work. Okay, so we definitely need to get some more food up in this joint. Because if we take a look here, yeah, we got plenty of water, but we got some potatoes, but they're probably getting tired of the potatoes. That's probably what we're running into here. So can we set up an orchard? I think an orchard would be very beneficial. So eating fruit makes peeps happier than eating potatoes. Makes sense. So let's get some of these bad boys going. We'll put one there. And then, how do we want this one to go? Another one off of this. Do we want another orchard? Why not? Let's get 2 orchards going. I click off of that just like so. Cool. And that should hopefully make them a little bit happier than what they are being right now, because they're definitely not that happy right now. What do we got going on here? We're waiting for resources. We should be good and cool. Now we have some apples going, or some fruit. I'm assuming it's apples. They look like apples, but I guess realistically they could be anything. They just say fruit. But okay, now let's see. I was saying we do need to get some stuff set up here. But can we upgrade? We can. So we can upgrade our huts to houses, so we don't even need to destroy them. Oh, cool. Discovery, you've started your first upgrade. Note that when a building is being upgraded, the demolition tool and button become cancel upgrade for that building instead of demolish. Okay, so that's good to keep in mind when we do upgrades. And that's actually our first upgrade, which is pretty cool. We haven't done that before. And we've also now, we have a marketplace. Oh, interesting. We also got the glass smelter, which we need sand. You take sand and power and you make that, but it's interesting. I wonder how we get sand. It looks like we're probably missing a point right here for number 3. But we do have a marketplace, which is pretty cool. Makes luxury items to bring peeps joy. Interesting. It doesn't take that much to, well, actually it does take a decent amount to do it. That's a decent amount of tools that we're going to need to build a marketplace. But it could be pretty cool to have a marketplace up and going. Holy smokes, this thing is big. What if we did it like right here? It'd be kind of cool to have it over here. Yeah, let's put it right. Ooh, I did not mean to hit that one. Let's try to put a marketplace in. Let's see how this goes. We'll let that build itself up. And I think what we'll do then in the meantime is we're going to take our ship. We're going to head back to our first island here. We're going to grab a couple more resources. So I think we're going to get some more tools. We definitely have a good backlog of tools on this island. And I know our new one is definitely going to need some of them. So, do we want to move 30? I think we could transfer 30. It's not like we're really building anything on the first island as it is. So just shipping them over to the new one would be perfectly fine. And then if we go to our shipwright, I think it would be pretty good for us to do maybe a scouting ship. I think that would be kind of cool. Let's get a scout ship going over there, because I would like to take that out and be able to look a little bit more around this planet and see what else we have possibility wise. And we probably are going to want to upgrade some of these bad boys to be houses. 4 stone and 4 tools. Should be fine with that. And we should be fine with doing that as well on this one. So those 2 will get upgraded. Are we good on tools? Yes, we have our tools with us. We will bring them back to our second colony here. And we'll move them over to the mainland, which is just hustling and a bustling about. Now we do have some more new items. Wow, things just keep popping up like crazy. So I guess first and foremost, like you saw, we have a cotton field now. This will be instrumental probably in our clothing creation, because we researched clothing. So we're going to want to get a cotton field up and going. Then there's also a sand mine. So it gathers fine sand for making glass. It does need to be built on desert tiles. Now this does take a decent amount of tools, which luckily we did transfer over a good amount. Did I not transfer tools to port? Yeah, transfer all of these bad boys. So those will get going. And let's see, those houses have upgraded, so we have even more peeps over here. And what we could do over here is even probably put our cotton farm if we wanted to, because we definitely have more peeps over here. We have more resources over here. How are our mining operations going? So our rusting hulk is doing just fine, and then these bad boys, I mean, we got tons. I mean, there's plenty here. So what we could even do on top of that is get another warehouse going on this island. So where is our warehouse? Elevator warehouse. I think it would be very beneficial to have yet another warehouse. And we'll get that one built up, and then what we'll do in this one is probably just maybe store stone. So whichever one we had stone in already, I'm going to take off of there, and I'm going to just put stone in that. Because I think ultimately that's probably what direction you're going to want to go in, is having different warehouses for specific items rather than trying to divvy them up. I mean, at the start it makes sense to divvy them up, but then going forward it doesn't really make that much sense. So now we have wood and tools that will be in our one here, which is perfect, and then all of the stone will come over here, which is cool. We'll have a max of 120 stone stored up over here, which is great. And then this one will do 60 wood and 60 tools. Perfect. Okay. So let me bump down our time here. We do now have our Archimedes scouting ship. What is this? Our warehouse construction is finished. Okay, cool. We knew that. And if I come over here, how is everyone doing over here? Everyone is pretty sad and depressed over here. Which is pretty funny. Oh, this is actually pretty interesting. It does create luxury items at a cost of 1 wood per. Now, I don't know if that's actually going to make everyone happy or not, but we will see. I know they wanted clothes, and it actually looks like we've exhausted all of the possible research on this island. Interesting. And we're not maxing out with anything that we are producing, are we? Let me double check on that. I don't believe we are. I think this island is really just starting to get by on what it's getting. And what we're going to want to get up and running is a glass smelter. We're going to want, ooh, we have a tailor, we have a weaver, and we have the marketplace. Holy smokes, we got so many new things to do. We are completely out of wood over here, though. Why are we so low on the wood? I mean, we don't even have... Well, we have enough of those to upgrade things, so maybe we'll do a little upgrade boy there. And I think what I want to do now, though, is take our little scout ship and just kind of go out exploring. Let's see what we have to offer on the rest of this planet. And this boy looks so cool. Look at this little guy. It's like a little toy boat. All right, let's flip back around here. Let's keep going. Let's scout out what we have. Because ultimately... Ooh, what is this? Ultimately, we're going to want to find even more resources. Okay, ships can't move on land. Okay, this is interesting. We got a couple, like, mountains here and sunken ships. And I'm guessing we'll get to a point where we can do something additional where we could mine these. That's pretty interesting there. It's pretty cool looking though, too. So we do have a little bit of land right here. So this could have potentially been another island for us to colonize on. And we actually have, looks like a glacier one that's right next to it here. So let's flip around. I'll zoom out a little bit so we can get a good peek at what we're dealing with. This is really cool, and it makes me wonder if there are other planets that have different style islands to them. You know, because this one, obviously, you get a couple of them that look relatively similar. But it'd be interesting to see if, almost like how... Oh, what is this? We've discovered oil left behind by the ancients. You can harvest it for a new resource. Okay, so that's probably what we're going to need. Yeah, look at all that oil on here. That's probably what we need as an additional resource for our ship. We're probably going to need oil, and this island has oil. So I'm not sure if we need to, like, what we need to do for getting a port set up here, because I don't know if we necessarily want to colonize it. We want to scout it out, right? That's what we want to do. It gives us the option to scout, but where is the oil on this island? This is actually a pretty big island here. So we have oil there and then an oil over here. So we'll probably want to start somewhere over here, because this is our other island, right? That's our starter island. We could make a direct path right over here. Or realistically, that is the other side of our other island. I know it gets a little bit confusing, but we're going to come over here. Actually, we'll probably want to go here. And we're going to want to scout things out. So we're going to send a guy out onto the island. Hopefully he has an option to get off, because his boat just disappeared. So yeah, again, we've discovered that this guy is just going out, and it looks like he has his set path on where he's going to discover everything. Oh, I'm sorry. She is exploring. Elizabeth is out exploring this island for us. Okay, cool. So she's going to go around that way. We do have a lot of good stuff on this island. A lot of good resources that we could utilize. I'm kind of curious, because we made bridges. I wonder if you can bridge like across this. If you can double bridge. If it works like that or not. Where'd she go? Well, she's going to keep going around. This is the oil that we're going to need. Okay. Well, let's head back over here to our main, or our secondary island. We have plenty of our houses up and going here. There is no more resources for our explorers to find here. So we're pretty much on our own in that sense. So I think what we're going to want to do, again, we're very, very low on wood. And I think it's because we're generating power and we just don't have enough of it stored. So I think really what we're going to want to do is get some more woodcutters up and going. And we could probably put them out here. So let's get some destruction going up in here. We'll take those bad boys out. And I'm actually going to take this out, because we'll make the road continue just straight right here. And then I'll probably stick them, well, because we have one, well, we have two, oh, we have three over here. We probably want to put it like right in there. Yeah, so he can get close enough to that one, and then these two here. And I believe that would be close enough. So I hope Elizabeth's okay on that island all by herself. Alright, come on, my guys. Let's get this place cleared out. Cool. So let's actually nix that bad boy. We'll get another road going here. And we'll do it just like so. And we're going to stick another woodcutter out here, because we definitely need another one. We're just not getting enough wood from this island. I know we could transfer resources from our first island, like I've been saying, but sometimes it's a little bit easier because it's a less manual process then, where I'm not having to do that all the time. So, all right, let's head back over here. I am curious on Elizabeth, who was scouting this island out for us, if she's still over here. Yeah, she's still over here. She's still just chilling. I mean, you gonna be okay out here? You've been scouting this out for us. There's also this little boy here if we ever needed some more stone. Yeah, I'm very confused if she just kind of stays here then, or what she does. But we'll probably want to colonize this one so we can gain these resources over here. And this is where it gets a little bit confusing, because now that we let's get back over here. Can I go to, there we go, the next steps. This is where it gets tricky, because obviously now we have another place where we can go get resources from, but we haven't even gotten to necessarily a good place on this island itself. But now that we look at this, because we unlocked glass, that is a new item that we can make for our ship, is glass. So we'll have that and that. I'm guessing we're going to need fuel and oil for these next two, or at least one of the next two. So we're getting a little bit more wood, which is good. So that should allow us to get a sand mine up and going. And look at that. It doesn't cause any pollution, which I'm pretty happy about. Now, it doesn't have any bonuses. Like our woodcutter had bonuses if it was close to a certain amount of trees, but this one doesn't really. It's just kind of you stick it where you want it to be, and it'll be perfectly fine. So I'm thinking, do we want to have it somewhere out here? I mean, how spread out do we want everything to be? Because we could put it there. I mean, we do realistic. Well, what do we have over here collection wise? All we have over here collection wise is one woodcutter. We have another woodcutter over here, and we have most of our food over here along with our port. So realistically, if we're going to set up some warehouses, it would be smart to do them over here. So I think realistically we're going to want to stick our sand mine over here somewhere. So let's stick it there. We'll get that bad boy up and rolling here. Let's click it into double time to get that up and going. And then once we have that done, we should be able to progress a little bit farther and get a glass blower or glass smelter up and going. We are going to need some more stone though. And this does cause pollution. It does not make our workers happy. It does give us some increased storage if we're by a warehouse. And then our production speed can be sped up if we were next to power, which unfortunately out here we are not next to power. So that might be something we want to consider, is relocating a power source to be closer out here. Now all these guys are still not happy on this island because of our clothing. So that's definitely going to be another thing we want to fix. And for that, we're going to need a cotton field up and going. And actually it has a lot of caveats to it. Let me read through these bad boys. So our workers' happiness will drain a little bit faster. Being next to other fields gives it a bonus. If it's nearby an accommodation, production is sped up. If it's nearby a well, it's sped up. You don't want to be by pollution. And it needs to have cotton fertility on this. Dang, okay. So what was it saying? It is sped up by 10% if we are by a well and other things. Do we need to be on a grass block? It does look like we do need to be on a grass block for this bad boy. So what if we stuck it right over here? And we'll get that going. And I'm going to actually tear down those trees there. Because once we get the cotton going a little bit more, we'll have that resource incoming. We can store it, and then we can get going on getting like a weaver set up, as well as a tailor to actually make clothing. Actually, the weaver, weaves cotton into cloth, produces new clothing from cloth. Yeah, so we need both of them in order to do that. It makes sense. That's how it would be set up. So I really just want to see the finished product on this. But they're taking their dandy old time getting this bad boy up and running. No resources. We did make some cotton though. Our cotton fields are up and going. Let's take a peek at these. Yeah, there we go. We got our cotton fields up and going. Cotton fields and our orchards. Look at that. These bad boys look really, really nice right there. And then unfortunately, we're just waiting on our sand mine here to get up and running. We're about halfway there, so we should have it up and going fairly shortly. But overall, I think we're doing pretty well. I feel like this game, and it might just be from our settings, is somewhat forgiving when it comes to a lot of these tasks that we're doing. Because I know that, for instance, in like SimCity, you could easily get yourself into a pickle if you're not paying close enough attention to things. But for this, you're pretty much okay to kind of figure it out yourself. And like I mentioned many a times, once you get an island that's pretty self-sufficient, you don't necessarily need to worry about them that much. They'll pretty much take care of themselves. Just having enough food, water, and tasks for them to do. And then you put some warehouses in and they can stockpile resources for you. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode. I think when we come back next time, what we're going to get going is some mines up here to get some of these resources, so we don't necessarily have to heavily rely on our port for resources from our other island. We can try to get some self-sustained resources over here, so we can get our clothing manufacturing up and going, so our weaver and our tailor up and going. And then we'll probably also want to get this glass smelter. So a lot of stuff to get done. And I know realistically, again, we could probably set some of this stuff up on the other island, but you do want to take into consideration if you set this up on another island and you have to transfer those resources to the other island, it's not going to be as self-sufficient. Again, all kind of looping back together to where you want to be able to sustain the colony that you built on that one island without having to heavily rely on another, because you're just then creating more work for yourself in the long run. So yeah, that is going to do it for today's episode of Before We Leave. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. If you did, feel free to leave a like down below, or better yet, leave me a comment. I love reading through everyone's comments. I know I don't get a ton typically on these episodes, but if you guys are interested in seeing anything specific, feel free to let me know. I'm all ears. Again, I like reading through what you have to say. If you're new to the channel, though, and you want to follow along with the series, hit that subscribe button and bell notification. It'll let you know every single time I post a new episode to the channel, be it this series, our Crash Land series, or MC Eternal. All three will pop up with notifications for you. But other than that, guys, thank you for sticking through till the end. I will catch you all in the next one. Thanks. Bye.